in part 4, I'm going to ask you some questions.
Okay.
So, do you think winning is important in sport, or is taking part enough?
Well, it depends what kind of sport, right? Is it competitive sport? Well, you need to win.
Yes, but just sport generally, I think doesn't have to be competitive.
Well, exactly. It depends. Is it as a hobby, or are you taking it further? Is it something serious in your life, or just something that complements your life?
Yeah, and to me, first and foremost, I think it should be sport for the sake of sport, for exercise and enjoyment.
Exactly.
And competitive sport is another level, I think. And I can easily enjoy sport without really keeping score.
Exactly. Well, it's the same thing for me. I enjoy sport just for the sake of sport. But for example, I know that my husband is really competitive, and although he plays tennis as a hobby, but he still wants to win. So I guess it depends on the person.
Yeah.
Does
it change his mood then if he loses, for example?
No, because he always learns and he comes back and he always looks forward to the following week and says, I'm going to beat him the following week. So.
But do you think someone could have that same attitude even if they weren't so competitive? They could still learn from what happens in the sport one day and look forward to it the next week?
Again, it depends on the person, and I would definitely learn, but I think like based on what I've seen my students, many of them can't take it very well.
Okay.
Yeah.
On the other hand, if we think about watching sports, obviously if we didn't have competitive sports, then it wouldn't be so interesting to watch, and we wouldn't have people who are so fascinated and engrossed in following.
But it's not only about watching, right? I know that, like, again, I'm going back to my students, that a lot of students play sports because it's competitive. And they look forward to winning. So not just participating, not just enjoying a Sunday playing football. I know that many of them just look forward to winning, the thrill, the adrenaline. So I don't know, in the past, how did you feel about that when you were younger versus now?
Well, yeah, I think I did enjoy having competitive matches to play in, but now I don't really remember whether I won or lost or that many of them, to be honest. I think
did you used to get angry?
No, and when I was in some teams, for example, a rugby team at university, I remember I was surprised by some of the other players that they were more angry even before the match, to try and get themselves mentally prepared for the match. And I was like, well, to me, it's just a game, really.
Exactly.
So, yeah, it's very different for different kind of personalities, I think.
Exactly. I totally agree with you. And in the past, I must admit that I was extremely competitive. And when I was younger, I remember my parents had to give me lectures and tell me to calm down and not get angry. And I remember even when I was playing basketball, I would get angry if we lost. And when I wrestled, because I did wrestling, and for many years. And it was just a way for me to feel much better about myself and feel more confident.
But do you think your parents were right to try and curb that you can be too competitive?
I think so, because it was affecting my mood. So I guess my parents were worried that I wasn't channeling that the right way. That I had to use that energy and that passion to be much more of a team member than think constantly thinking about, am I going to win? Am I going to win? Am I going to shine? So I guess, did you have any kind of these experiences when you were younger with your parents, as far as like telling you how to feel about it, or if they wanted you to be more competitive?
No, I don't think my parents put any pressure on me for either to be more or less competitive. I think they probably left that kind of thing to my schools and the teachers, and you can probably learn from that there. Because there was that at school. It's not just in sport, is it? People get competitive in the classrooms, and exam scores, or just who's done the best in the homework and so on like that. And, I didn't really talk to my parents about it, but it was always there.
See, my parents came to watch me.
Thank you. That is the end of the test.
Thank you.
Thanks.